All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts. We got a great fight night for you with 9 fights, 18 fighters, 60 men and 2 women in the ring tonight. 48 rounds are scheduled. We'll see if we go all 48. And of course, the main event, Danny Boy O'Connor against Michael Clark. My name is Butch Stearns, and our host for this evening will be up here momentarily. He's, of course, Kenny Casey from the Dropkick Murphys and from Murphys Boxing. How about a round of applause for our host putting on this event tonight? And a quick reminder to all of you, we are streaming this event live to 36 countries around the world, every town in New England, except I think Wakefield. I think they blacked us out in Wakefield tonight. I don't know why. Without further ado, I'd like to remind you, this is also a fundraiser tonight. And Stephanie and Tony, who are walking around, I don't know where you are, ladies, raise your hands. All the money raised tonight for these raffles, and you can win some fabulous prizes, Red Sox tickets and more, is going to the Mass Fallen Heroes tonight, folks. So buy some raffle tickets, support them. All right, are you ready for a great night of boxing? Here's your host, Kenny Casey.
Well, Butchie, I think you covered it all anyway. So, and once again, thanks everyone for coming out. Let's not forget the real reason we're here, aside from a great night of boxing, is to raise money for the Mass Fallen Heroes. These guys are all sitting over here, and a great bunch of guys doing great work. So, anyway, thank you all for coming out. We're going to turn it over to John Vina. He's going to get the night started. Thanks for everyone who's tuning in pay-per-view, and let's go.
Entering the ring right now, making his pro boxing debut tonight, is Woburn, Massachusetts native Gilvan Santos, who, like Matt Doherty, who was victorious in our previous bout, a practitioner of mixed martial arts, transitioning to boxing tonight to make his proper pro boxing debut. Opposite him tonight will be Timmy Ramos, who has been a standout on the New England amateur scene in recent years. You'll see with Gilvan Santos in his corner some notable North Shore mixed martial arts trainers.
You know, it's quite a guy to turn pro against Tim Ramos with a big background in amateur boxing.
And you will hear the crowd respond as John Vina introduces Tim Ramos, making his pro debut tonight into the ring. Brandon, you know what Tim Ramos brings to the table firsthand as you competed with him in the amateur ranks. Tell us about that experience and what we can expect from Tim Ramos tonight.
You know, Timmy and I grew up in the amateurs. You know, it's been 8 or 9 years now we've been at this. You know, and I'm so glad that he's turning pro tonight. I feel like his style is going to fit the professional scene very well. We fought a couple of years ago in the finals of the New England Golden Gloves, and he's very, very slick. He's fast with both hands, very good foot movement. You know, I think that you're going to see some good slickness. I think the first round might be a little feel-out process for him because this is different. You know, this is the professional world. So we might all get to know a different Timmy Ramos tonight, and I'm looking forward to it. He's made the transition down to 126 pounds. When we competed, it was at 141. So let's see if he can carry some power down to 126. I'm very excited.
Well, both combatants are now inside the ring. We'll send it to John Vina for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, your third bout of the evening is scheduled for 4 rounds. This at a catch weight of 128 pounds. This bout is proudly presented to you by Matrix Aerospace, and your referee in charge of the action is Mr. Paul Doyle. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner to my right. He's wearing black trunks with yellow trim and weighing in at trim and ready, 129 pounds. He comes from nearby Woburn, Massachusetts. And now making his professional debut, please welcome Gilvan Santos. And his opponent bowing out of the red corner to my left. He's wearing black trunks with gray trim and weighing on trim and ready, 126 pounds. Also making his professional debut tonight, he comes to us from Framingham, Massachusetts. Introducing Timmy Ramos.
Timmy Ramos making his pro debut wearing the black trunks with the silver trim. Gilvan Santos making his pro debut wearing the black trunks with the yellow trim. 4 rounds, technically junior lightweights, but Timmy Ramos entered the fight at 126 pounds, which is the featherweight limit. And you mentioned earlier that when you competed with Ramos in the amateurs, it was in the 141-pound weight class, and he had a great physique then. He's entering 15 pounds lighter tonight at 126 and also looks great.
Yeah, you can see that he's obviously put in a lot of work and time. This doesn't happen overnight. And, you know, we've spoken in the past. He's been wanting to turn pro for a while. You know, he's done everything possible in New England in the amateurs. He's been to the Nationals, represented Team New England. You know, I think it's time, and this is a very, very appropriate time for him. In 126, if he feels good, and you know, this is the way it is. You have that extra day to hydrate, and I'm looking forward to his pro career. See, he's very calm in there. You know, this is nothing new to him, other than the fact that it's his professional debut. You know, I think you're going to see him trying to work off the jab. You're going to see some slick boxing here from Timmy Ramos.
I will say that I do like the heart so far, courtesy of Santos, and I think that he has gotten the attention of Timmy Ramos with some of his wild swinging punches that have landed.
He's definitely landed a few, and you know, this is Timmy Ramos' pro debut. This is the first time, you know, he's been hit with these smaller gloves with no headgear on, and it takes some time to get used to, and that's why the first round is so important.
But now it's Timmy Ramos responding to kind of some nice body shots that force Santos to clinch.
The body is very, very important for Timmy to focus on with his opponent here. Slow him down a little bit, although it's only a 4-round fight. I think that it'll slow him down because his opponent came out swinging very wildly, and like you said, you know, a lot of heart. So hopefully we can slow the pace down a little bit, and Timmy can work on what he's good at.
Swinging very wildly, a lot of energy expounded, and is actually breathing with his mouth open right now, and I don't like the way that his mouthpiece is kind of dangling out of his mouth at times. That seems ripe for disaster if Timmy Ramos will land a hard shot right across the face.
Sure does, yeah, no, that's very dangerous. Now he's taunting Timmy Ramos, something he probably shouldn't be doing, especially if he's getting tired here. But I wouldn't be a bit surprised if you see some issues with that mouthpiece, possibly starting to fall out, and, you know, buy some time.
Santos dips incredibly low to avoid some punches. The referee doesn't break them as he tries to clinch. Nice right hand by Timmy Ramos. That's a good pro move. Protect yourself at all times. Referee didn't say stop in the action. He hit him with the right hand.
That's right. There isn't going to be any tricks that you can show Timmy that he hasn't already seen. He's been around this game for a long time. Spars with all the local pros. A lot of local talent here in New England, and he's growing up right in the mix with.
He's from Framingham, Massachusetts. This is a guy in the gym who's a pretty good fighter from Framingham himself, Danny O'Connor, who we'll see in the main event. Good opening round between Timmy Ramos and Gilvan Santos here at Melrose Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts. Santos came up very aggressive, landed some good shots. Ramos kept his cool, however, and landed some good shots of his own, and probably landed the cleaner, more effective punches, but at the same time, nothing that really had too much of an ill effect on Santos to the point where you thought he was in any trouble.
Yeah, the only time that I thought maybe some of the punches would have affected him was when Ramos landed a few to the body, which is a very common occurrence in pro boxing or any combat sports, of course. So I think that you'll see in the second round some adjustments Timmy may make is just to believe in the jab, work off the jab, and try to get some into the body again, slow him down.
And what I saw from those body shots you spoke of is that he never really had Santos in trouble, but he did earn his respect with those shots landing to the point where, from that point on in the round, I noticed that Santos was trying to fight on the inside much more as to not allow Ramos to get much leverage on those punches. Whereas before, he was from the outside, coming in from all angles, ready to swing for the fences.
Definitely, and you can see he's having issues with his mouthpiece here, like which we talked about in the first round.
And you know what I see here in round 2 from Santos, and we saw it from Ramos as well, but I like it coming from Santos because he learned it from Ramos in round 1. When they're in the clinch, the ref didn't tell him to break. He snuck in a right hand upstairs.
That's right, that's right. It's protect yourself at all times. And
nice uppercut by Santos.
Very nice uppercut.
I must say that the manager of Gilvan Santos Rodrigo Almeida, who's one of the best mixed martial arts featherweights in New England, came up to me before this fight and said, don't think Santos is here as an opponent. And I like that.
It's great when they come in hungry like that, and they know they're here for the same reason as the guy across the ring. Both of them looking for the win here. You can see he's feeling pretty comfortable in the ring here, dancing around, and he's definitely in this fight.
And a right hand lands for Ramos, and Santos falls through the bottom and second rope. He tries to tell the referee, no, I tripped, but referee Bob Doyle rules this a knockdown. I think it was the correct call.
I do too. The ropes are there to protect him from falling, and he went through. I believe that was a clean knockdown. The ref is doing a good job at letting the fighters, fight through the breaks and take care of themselves. It's nice to see a ref to realize that, these experienced guys in here. Timmy's got a big background, and they know what to do.
And I like the fact that he's allowing them to fight out, and both fighters are in fact fighting out. Sometimes fighters clinch hoping the ref will break them up as to just halt the action. Both these guys want to fight on the inside, they want to fight on the outside, they want to fight.
Yeah, that's what the crowd wants to see, and when both combatants are in shape, they have no problem with fighting out. A lot of times, like you said, when fighters are looking for the ref to break them up, it's because they're tired and they're looking for a break, looking for a way out. This is where Timmy had him in trouble before on the ropes with the straight right hands. Let's see if he can do it again.
And a nice left hand upstairs followed by, which preceded a body shot, sends Santos to the floor. And Santos, I don't think is going to get up. Paul Doyle is going to reach the count of 10, I believe.
Body shot.
And that is that. A left hand to the body results in a first round TKO and a successful pro debut for Framingham, Massachusetts, Tim Ramos.
That was a great win, great shot. Like I said, I really thought he focused on the body, and and obviously it paid big dividends for him in the end, stopping his opponent. I believe it was a left hook to the body. Very nice pro debut for Timmy Ramos with a bright future.
And I'll say this right now: in the first round, we saw the aggressiveness and the heart of Gilvan Santos shake up Ramos here and there in spurts, but Ramos, the seasoned amateur boxer that he has, brought that with him to the professional ranks tonight as he weathered the storm, saw his openings, took advantage of them, and ultimately has a second round TKO. He adjusted to everything that Santos brought at him and passed with flying colors.
I believe Santos was a great first opponent for Timmy Ramos. I think he grew a lot in that first round. He was able to take a few shots, and I think he may have found out who he was tonight in a way, and I think we all now know Timmy Ramos may have a bright future here in New England with pro boxing.
Tim Ramos ate a few shots, including a right uppercut that I think is going to remind him tomorrow when he wakes up. Last night he was in a fight. We'll send inside the ring right now to John Vina for the official particulars of our stoppage.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 2 minutes, 33 seconds of the second round. Referee Paul Doyle stops his contest. Winner by knockout victory in his professional debut, Timmy Ramos.
Tim Ramos successful in his pro debut tonight. He's standing by momentarily with our very own Butch Stearns. Butch, chat away with the successful pro debuter. We're ready for you now, Butchie. Take it away, my friend.
Than you tonight.
Oh yeah, don't get much better, man. I'm used to the amateurs, man. The pro step up was amazing. It was a great experience. I'm glad the way it ended. It was great.
So, simple question. Why did you win this fight tonight?
I won it from being smart and fighting my game plan. He came out aggressive. He was kind of headbutting a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Using his elbows. I know he's an MMA guy, but I had to use my boxing against him. I stopped him with some power.
So, guy comes out aggressive like that. What's your thinking? I mean, you want to learn something in that first round, don't you?
At first, my mind was kind of everywhere. My first pro fight, I had no headgear, you know what I'm saying? So, my head's everywhere. But second round, I slowed down, slowed the pace down, listened to my corner, and I stopped him with the hook to the body.
So you just won. This just happened. What do you think you're going to take away from this fight, besides the great memory of this?
I'm going to try and take away a great experience. I know it was 2 rounds. I wanted to get at least 3, trying to stop him in 3. But, I'm going to take away some experience, first pro fight, go back to the drawing board. I got a lot to work on, you know what I'm saying?
So we're going to hear a lot more from Timmy
Oh, a
Ramos.
lot more. Thank you. A lot
Congrats,
more.
man.
Thank you, sir.
All right, take care. So there you go. I'm sir. That's what happens there. But Timmy Ramos for the big win. Peter, back to you.
You know, excellent perspective from Timmy Ramos. He saw pretty much everything that we saw. The aggressiveness of Santos, the fact that Ramos knew enough to stay calm, fight his fight, and box his opponent coming from an untraditional fighting background in MMA, and the fact that he said it was unique fighting for the first time without headgear.
Yeah. No, shots you take about a headgear, it's a big difference, and you know it wakes you up a little bit. And I like how he said he wanted to get at least 3 rounds in. It ended in 2. Of course, he'll take it. But you know, it's nice that he's looking for the experience, and that's what he always did in the amateurs. He's a boxer, and that's what he's going to do.
Female welterweight action on its way between Alexandra Lopes and Lucretia Meacham. Both women spoke with us yesterday. Here's their words.
So buy some more raffle tickets, please. Buy some raffle tickets. You can give them away as prizes to clients, friends, family. Think about more than ourselves tonight. Let's help out the mass fallen heroes. Also, another reminder, if it's the first time you've been to a boxing match, or first time you've been around here, May 23rd, at Guinness Arena, Premier Boxing Championships live on NBC. A lot of the same fighters you saw here. If those of you like me are old enough to remember ABC's Wide World of Sports, it's like that. May 23rd at Guinness Arena. So again, support the mass fallen heroes. Cheer on your fighters. Let's have a great time tonight, everybody.
What's turns, ladies and gentlemen? Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you an undefeated fighter who's fighting next week in the co-featured attraction on ESPN Friday Night Fights at Mohegan Sun. He's ranked 7th in the world. He comes to us from nearby Prince Massachusetts. You saw him in the Memorial Series Part 1 with a spectacular knockout in the main event. How about a nice round of applause for the one and only Polish Prince, Ryan Pilsudski! Fighting live on ESPN Friday Night Fights at 10 p.m. Next Friday night, don't miss it. The undefeated Polish Prince, Ryan Pilsudski. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, the official after party tonight is taking place at the Dark Side over in Malden. Hope to see you all there at the Dark Side, the official after party for the Memorial Series Part 2.
Special thanks to our sponsor tonight, Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. I'm a fan of Irish whiskey. I'm a fan of Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Special thanks to them, proud supporters of Murphy's Boxing in this broadcast here on murphysboxing.com. And of course, tonight's fight's put on by Murphy's Boxing. You're watching us here at murphysboxing.com. So a special thanks to Ken Casey and all the fine folks at Murphy's Boxing for allowing us to broadcast this to you here at murphysboxing.com. Next up in the ring, 6 rounds of female welterweights. Former world title challenger Alexandra Lopes, on her birthday no less, will be fighting against Pine Bluff, Arkansas's Lucretia Meacham. Brandon, I know there's been some social pressure on you in the past when fighting, competing in your hometown where you're a huge draw, north of where we are in Maine. Imagine all that anxiety compounded with the fact that it's also your birthday. That's what Alexandra Lopes is about to face tonight as she takes on Lucretia Meacham.
Well, you know, if Lopes is anything like me, I think that she would probably take that opportunity to the fullest and enjoy it that much more. I feel like if I got to fight in my hometown on my birthday weekend, I feel like it would make it that much more special because it is such an honor to fight in front of your hometown as it is.
Well, the birthday girl Alexandra Lopes and Lucretia Meacham spoke with us just yesterday at weigh-ins. We'll take a listen to that.
Austin, this is your first time here, however, certainly not your first time fighting on the road. That has sort of been the pattern for your career. You are definitely a road warrior. What do you think of fighting somebody in their hometown at this stage in your career?
Well, I know she's a very busy person, so I want to do a big upset in Boston. I know she's going to be a very tough person to catch, but I'll be the one to knock her out.
How did training go here for you this time out in Arkansas?
Very tough, very tough. Some little ups and downs, but I'm still a warrior.
Terrific. You've certainly fought the who's who of women's boxing in your weight class. How do you see Alexandra in the rankings compared to some of the other very tough fighters that you've faced?
Well, I see her going pretty far, but like me, I'm a warrior, so I don't let nothing stop me. I feel like she has some ups and downs, and she said she want to let this be her last one, but I don't think she should let this one be her last one. I want her to keep on till she retired, you know. I want her to keep on fighting.
Now, tomorrow night, aside from her fighting in what is essentially her hometown, it's also her birthday. Tell me about the additional pressure that she's on, having to perform in front of all of her friends that are coming to give her birthday wishes and fight at the same time.
Well, I want to say happy birthday to her. So this would be a great birthday gift for her. So I think this would be a great thing for her because she's a warrior. So good luck for her and happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Alex, welcome to Melrose.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be back.
This is your second appearance here. How do you like this venue?
I love it. I think it's a great little fight venue. Doesn't seem like there's a bad seat in the house, so I really liked it last time.
This is your second fight back after challenging for a world title in the fall. How do you feel about returning to the ring after fighting at such a high level?
You know, we had a little challenging run. We had 2 draws, and then we lost a major decision in Sweden. So I think this is time to rebuild and kind of, you know, get skill level up and practice. So it's good. It's good. I'm glad we have an opportunity to fight again so quickly. We scored, you know, unanimous decision win last time, so we're hoping for the same result this time.
Now, it's kind of an unusual night for you to be boxing. Tell me what makes this unusual tonight for you.
It happens to be my birthday, which normally I would hate to celebrate because I'm only getting older. But last time we were fighting here, I found out the show is on. It happens to be on my birthday on April 10th. So I asked to fight on the card because I just couldn't think of any better way to celebrate. I love boxing, and I have a few years left in the sport. But it's just a great coincidence. So I'm glad to be able to take advantage of it.
Well, happy birthday and good luck.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I want to send a special thank you out to the Clatter Fund, proud sponsors of tonight's event here in Melrose, Massachusetts, and on murphysboxing.com, the Clatter Fund. Make sure you look them up online. And of course, our friends at Murphy's Boxing, promoters of tonight's event. You're already at murphysboxing.com. Browse around once this broadcast is over, of course. Peter Zimber and Brandon Berry ringside. We heard from Mark Bass chatting with both Lucretia Meacham and Alexandra Magziak-Lopes, who we'll see in our next fight. Meacham very cordial to her opponent, fighting her on her birthday. Lopes seemingly excited. And I love her accent. Originally from Poland, now living in Marshfield, Massachusetts. A lot of fans from Marshfield have made their way to Melrose tonight. 6 rounds of female boxing underway momentarily. Welterweight division, former world title challenger Alexandra Magziak-Lopes takes on Pine Bluff, Arkansas's Lucretia Meacham. Will send it inside the ring to our official ring announcer, Mr. John Vina.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 4th bout of the evening is scheduled for 6 rounds. This in the 147-pound welterweight division. This bout is proudly sponsored to you by your Labor's Local 872. And the referee in charge of the action once again, Mr. Paul Doyle. Now introducing first fighting out of the blue corner to my right. He's wearing yellow with red trim and weighing in at trim ready 141 pounds. He enters the ring for the 17th time and comes to us from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Please welcome Lucretia Meacham. And her opponent, fighting out of the red corner to my left, wearing silver with red and weighing in at trim ready 141
6 rounds of female welterweight boxing underway momentarily. Alexandra Lopes wearing the gray trunks with the red trim. Lucretia Meacham wearing the almost tattered yellow skirt with the knee-high yellow socks. 6 rounds of female boxing underway. Peter Zimborn, Brandon Berry ringside, and a left hook from Meacham sends Alexandra Lopes to the canvas on the very first punch thrown in the fight. Lucretia Meacham has her own way of saying happy birthday, Alex.
I was just going to say she wished her happy birthday in the interview yesterday, and maybe that was the present that she planned on giving to her. Both similar experience in the ring. Obviously, Lopes' record is far better, but that doesn't mean the experience of Meacham won't carry her to make this competitive fight, which she already showed within seconds of the opening round.
And you mentioned the records of both fighters. Magziak Lopes, a former world title challenger, enters this fight with a record of 12 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw. Meacham with a record of 3 wins against 13 losses. But within those 13 losses, Meacham has fought pretty much the who's who of who is out there as far as female boxing is concerned in her weight division. And the truth of the matter is, in female boxing, sometimes the depth isn't quite there as it is in men's boxing. And all of these girls have to fight each other, and you're not going to get any soft touches. You're going to have to fight, steal, time in, time out, and that's what both these ladies have pretty much had to do their entire career.
Definitely, and Lopes' record proves that with 15 or 16 fights and have already fought as a title contender. It shows that it's not as deep in the female divisions, and like you said, they've all fought tough opposition. So I bet we're in here for a tough fight.
And you know, what might be the difference between Lopes and Meacham is Meacham probably doesn't have the fan base in Arkansas that Lopes has here in Melrose, Massachusetts tonight. Alexandra Lopes' fan base, time in, time out, is excellent in coming to her fights and making a lot of noise when she enters the ring. As a result of that, she's had a lot of people come to her hometown to fight her, and she's been able to fight them when she's ready for them. Probably not the case for Meacham, who's had to go on the road. She's somewhat of a road warrior. But as we enter the closing seconds of round number 1, as we are fighting in 2-minute rounds in female boxing. A good opening round for Lucretia Meacham as she landed a left hook in the opening seconds that sent Alexandra Lopes to the canvas. And Alexandra Lopes in an interesting place right now. I don't think she's used to going back to her stool after round 1 after having lost the opening frame.
Yeah, she's got a lot to think about here because I believe it's a 6-round fight. She's already, I would assume, down 10-8. And, although, this is when probably fighting in close to your hometown comes into play. She can use the crowd to her advantage, and hopefully they can pump her up enough to get her back on her game plan and win these next 2 rounds.
And we should mention, even though Lopes was knocked to the canvas, I don't think she was really hurt. I think she was caught cold, if anything. And she got up seemingly fine, but still a legitimate left hand sent to the floor.
Yeah, so nicely timed left hook. And, that's why the first round is so important in boxing. Much more dangerous than the later rounds. Now she has a feel for it. I'd be willing to bet if she got caught with that same shot again now, most likely wouldn't go down. Because as you said, she wasn't hurt, it just caught her foot.
Nice left hand by Alex Lopes here in round 2. Alex Lopes with her husband Wayne Lopes in the corner. Also Mark Vaz working cuts. He's worked cuts for some of the best in the business, including Hector Macho Camacho.
Lopes trying to get that jab going now.
I'll say this right now for Lucretia Meacham. One thing I like about her that not all of Alexandra Lopes' opponents have done in the past is that she's forced her to fight in the early goings of this fight. She's not allowing her to dictate the pace. So Alexandra Lopes knows she has to be on her toes.
Yeah, she's probably familiar with Lopes' previous fights in her career, and she probably came with a game plan. Let's push this fight and see if she can deal with the pressure. And obviously in the first round it worked for her. Fighters slow the pace down now. Almost looking to counterpunch here.
Nice left jab by Lopes upstairs, snaps the head back slightly of Meacham.
You can see how she set that up. She went downstairs first, got the guard and drop, and then the jab was open, and she landed it nice. She's landing the jab very effectively now. Nice right hand as the second round comes to an end.
Well, a good bounce back round for Alex Lopes after losing the opening frame after hitting the canvas. Once again, we're coming to you from Melrose Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts. Still to come tonight, our main event, Danny O'Connor takes on Michael Clark in a 10-round welterweight main event. Also, unbeaten Canadian fighter Logan McGuinness makes his debut in Massachusetts against Carlos Fulgencio of Miami. And we'll see the red-hot prospect in the middleweight division, Mark DeLuca, nearby Whitman, Mass, take on Dallas, Texas's Larry Smith Jr.
Yeah, so definitely stay tuned for a night of action-packed fights here. I'm looking very forward to the fights that come, and we're in a pretty good scrap right now between these two fairly experienced females.
Seconds out, ladies and gentlemen, this is round 3. Skin number 6. Lucretia Meacham in the blue corner. Alexander Majak Lopes in the red corner. Let's hear it for him.
You see Lopes going right back to the jab as it worked very effectively for her in round 2. Her hand speed might be a little bit faster than her opponents here as well, which is obviously helping her out with landing that jab and setting up the right hand. So she's been going downstairs very effectively here, which will obviously slow her opponent down as well. Lopes is continuing to push the action here. Just with a right hand and then landed a right hand. Being 2-minute rounds, you know, the female fighters have quite a lot less time to make things happen here. You know, that's a whole minute less. So I like how Lopes is trying to stay very busy. I feel like she realizes, you know, there's not a lot of time in every round, and she's trying to score as many points as she can.
And while more often than not female boxing is contested with 2-minute rounds, there was a rule put in place within the last 3 years by the Association of Boxing Commissions that if both fighters do want it, they can fight 3-minute rounds now. However, we've got 2-minute rounds between Alexander Lopes and Lucretia Meacham in the ring tonight in Melrose, Mass. I remember at a fight a few years ago in New Hampshire. Alex Lopes' opponent demanded 3-minute rounds, and Alex Lopes said, okay, let's do it. Round 3 comes to an end. Another good round by Alex Lopes.
So halfway through the fight here, and let's see if Meacham can make some adjustments here and possibly get her offense going again for the second half of the fight.
Yeah, at this point it's even on my card, 28-28. 2 rounds to 1 for Lopes, but Meacham did have the knockdown in round 1, which gave her a 10-8 round. So still anyone's fight here at the midway point. But the last 2 rounds have certainly gone in the favor of Alex Lopes, and you sense momentum swinging in her favor. But we'll see what Lucretia Meacham from Pine Bluff, Arkansas can muster up.
Yeah,
I've never been to Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
I haven't either. I haven't either, but I do have to say I wouldn't count her out quite yet. Because obviously she knows, I think now that the tides have turned, she can probably feel the momentum going, you know, in her opponent Lopes' way. So let's see what she has to bring to the table here in round 4.
Remember, the proceeds for this internet pay-per-view do benefit the Massachusetts Fallen Heroes Memorial, so we want to make sure you check out the Massachusetts Fallen Hero Memorial. They're the benefactors of this internet pay-per-view here at murphysboxing.com, and we thank you so much for joining us here at murphysboxing.com as we're amidst round 4 now between Alex Lopes and Lucretia Meacham.
seeing a lot of the same as we saw in rounds 2 and 3 from Lopes, pressing the action. She's landing more effective punches here, and again, I think she's setting it all up from the jab. I like what she's doing with jabbing downstairs first, and she's feeling more and more comfortable here. At the same time, that's also a dangerous part of the fight when you're fighting somebody that obviously has enough power to knock you down. Again, she was caught cold in the first round, but she doesn't want to get caught with a counter punch here from Meacham either, which is, at this point, the only chance I see of any effective offense right now. Nice body punches there from Lopes. Nice jab to the body, although none of these punches have seemed to really affect Meacham, who's obviously a pretty tough customer here. And here Lopes' corner saying hands up after you fire, which I think is very important, again, because they don't want to get caught with a counter here. Meacham's been around, she has some experience, and they know what can happen here. The fight can change very quickly with one shot.
Round 4 comes to a conclusion. And not as much panic in the corner of Alex Lopes as there was earlier in the fight. The corner once again consists of her husband, Wayne Lopes, and cutman Mark Vaz.
Now we got to see Tony and Stephanie. Prizes being raffled off. 4 tickets to any show in the Middle East, 2 Red Sox tickets, and 2
You can see from
tickets
round 4,
for May
Alexandra Lopes
23rd.
certainly getting the better of the action.
Boxing event
And momentum
taking place
swinging in her
at the
favor.
Guinness Arena, featuring a main event world title fight, Andre Durrell versus Dick Newfield. That's for the super middleweight
Big
title.
things forthcoming from Murphy's Boxing in the coming months. May 23rd, Murphy Boxing's with a joint venture with Premier Boxing Champions,
Edward La Bomba Rodriguez.
with a primetime network television boxing show from the Agganis Arena in Boston on NBC, featuring an IBF world title fight in the main event, and also many local standouts, including Edwin Rodriguez, Ryan Kozeski, Mark Luca, and Danny O'Connor. So we look forward to that on May the 23rd at the Agganis Arena on the campus of Boston University. Right now, we're enjoying a good fight between Alex Lopes and Lucretia Meacham here in Melrose, Massachusetts. A fine venue here, Memorial Hall, but a little bit smaller than the Agganis Arena.
Yeah, just a little bit. But you know, sometimes fighters prefer an auditorium like this. I know that sometimes you feed off the energy from these old memorial buildings. It has a real fight atmosphere, and I always enjoy a nice fight card building like this.
Not a bad seat in the house here in Melrose.
No, definitely not. I think everybody here is definitely enjoying the action. This is a very good fight here, back and forth. This round, I feel like Meacham has definitely been a little bit more effective in the last 2 or 3 rounds, as she might feel the urgency to get something going offensively, giving up the last few rounds.
And you take a look at that knockdown scored in round 1. Was it a lucky shot where Meacham caught her cold, or she landed anything since which has made you think that she's capable of landing something that significant again?
No, again, I think she was more so caught cold. Again, I wouldn't count her out. I wouldn't be too overconfident with thinking that her power isn't there. I think Lopes is a little bit more careful going in, keeping her guard up, and again, she's more warmed up now, so I don't think that probably won't see another knockdown.
I like the fact that we're seeing Alexandra Lopes let her hands go tonight, which has been a criticism of her in previous fights. Tonight she's letting the hands fly.
Yeah, everybody seems very pleased with her performance. She's staying very busy, and again, I know I've commented on it 2 or 3 times, but she's going to the body very nicely, and I feel like that's opening up the rest of her offense.
Round 5 concludes.
Another one in the books for Lopes.
Well, in 2 minutes of more boxing, we'll find out if the judges actually have purpose tonight, as we've seen nothing but stoppages thus far as we take a look back at some of the action of the previous round. So sixth and final round between Lopes in the gray trunks with the red trib and Meacham in the tattered yellow trunks with a somewhat of a skirt. It's actually red trunks with like a yellow skirt thing. It's very Hector Macho Camacho-esque, as we mentioned. Mark Baz used to work this corner, who's in the corner defending Alex Lopes earlier in the broadcast.
I was thinking the same thing. Camacho came to mind when I was looking at her trunks or skirt or whatever you'd like to call it. I like what Lopes did here. I think that the corner probably told her that Meacham would come out with a sense of urgency and maybe to just press the action before she could and just control the pace as if we were continuing from round number 5. I was expecting Meacham to push the action a little more here. Probably a little bit more than a minute left here, and I would say she would have to get a stoppage to get the win. I think Lopes has something to say about that. Landing a very, very nice right hand and another right there. And another.
Both ladies landing heavy blows tonight in Melrose.
This is great. Crowd's loving it. Very competitive fight, evenly matched. This is putting on a show for us here. We have to be under a minute to go now, and Lopes is going to the body very strong. Meacham is still standing and throwing shots of her own. Last 10 seconds here. It looks like it's going to be a memorable birthday for Lopes. Fighters stand and finish it off throwing blows.
Six rounds in the book between Alexandra Lopes and Lucretia Meacham. I scored the fight 58-55 in favor of Alexandra Lopes. I essentially had her winning 5 rounds to 1 with the lone round she didn't win. The opening premise, Meacham with a left hook sent her to the canvas. Meacham came to fight, but ultimately Lopes' skills were superior, and I felt that she won the bout.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the first round she was able to keep her composure after getting knocked down and came back strong to win every round fairly clearly. Although it was a very competitive fight and entertaining to watch.
Still to come tonight, Greg Vendetti of nearby Stoneham, Massachusetts, which I had to drive through to get to Melrose. That's how close it is. He'll be taking on Providence, Rhode Island's Angel Valdez. That's our next bout up on the docket following the results of this fight between Lopes and Meacham. And also still to come tonight, Windsor, Vermont's Chris Gilbert takes on Pedro Gonzalez. I'm sure a lot of folks joining us here on MurphysBoxing.com from the fine state of Vermont. Chris Gilbert on his way as he takes on Pedro Gonzalez here, live from Melrose, Massachusetts. A little bit long in getting the scorecards calculated from the judges, which is interesting to me. Alexandra Lopes has had a few draws in her career that I did not think were draws.
Usually when it takes a while to get the scorecards, there's something going on. I never have a very good feeling inside when I'm in the ring waiting for the score and it takes a little bit longer than it should.
Well, I don't see John Vina, our ring announcer, entering the ring yet with the official score totals, so they are still being tabulated by the Massachusetts Boxing Commission. We'll have those totals for you momentarily. Once again, you're watching MurphysBoxing.com. Boxing from Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts. Peter Zimbor and Brandon Berry joining you ringside. I want to send a special thank you to Local 872 for their support of tonight's event in Melrose, Massachusetts. Local 872, thank you so much for your support here on MurphysBoxing.com. I'm now seeing our ring announcer, John Vina, stepping through the ropes as he's got score totals in hand, and he'll announce them to us, you, and the rest of the room right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I read the official scores, I'm going to ask round of applause once again for Lucretia Meacham and Alexandra Lopes.
So the length and tabulating the scorecards aside, all three judges see it exactly as we had it. 58 to 55 for Alex Lopes, and that's the right score. She won 5 of 6 rounds, and the lone round she didn't win was because she hit the canvas.
Yeah, no, and I think that both fighters put up a good fight. The scorecards were all the way it should be, and very impressive win.
Alexandra, congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
Things really seemed to change in that third round. When you came out in that third round, it seemed you kind of took control of the fight. Did you?
Yeah, listen, I never expected dropped in the first round. I never saw it coming. It was a great left hook. I got to give it to her. And you know, I was down there and I said, crap, it's my birthday and I'm in front of my home crowd. I'm like, I'm not losing this fight. So, you know, I got up and I was like, I got to win every single round afterwards, and we are 2 points behind. So I just went to work, you know, and stayed careful and disciplined and got 2 good points back.
Now, you did get knocked. It's the first time you've been knocked down in your career.
Yeah, ever.
Talk about that knockdown. Were you surprised? Did her reach surprise you?
I think it just caught me off guard. I wasn't hurt at all. My head was really clear. It was one of those flash knockdowns where I went down and I was like, crap, I'm on the ground. You know, I got to get up really quick. But I wasn't hurt. My head was clear afterwards, so I immediately regrouped.
So, did you feel like after that third round that you had control of the fight? It looked.
Yes, and I felt like she was tiring really quick. Like she kind of shot her best shot in the first round and didn't get me out of there, and she didn't have much afterwards. So it was just a matter of getting my timing and my distance right to land the punches.
So the last fight you had a title shot. It didn't work out that way, right?
That was in November, yes.
Okay, but now you come home.
Yep.
It's your birthday.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good night.
Yeah, it is. And you know, it's funny. When we were here in February, we won. I found out that the next show was on my birthday, and I went up to Ken Casey and I said, oh my God, put me on, it's my birthday. And this morning I'm like, I don't know if this was such a good idea. This is so much pressure, you know. So when I got in here, I was like, I just got to win.
You gave yourself and everybody else here.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Back to you, Peter.
Well, a very special happy birthday to Alexandra Magziak-Lopes, who improves to 13 wins and 3 losses tonight with a 6-round unanimous decision over Lucretia Meacham. Now she can go out and properly celebrate her birthday, Brandon.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to start off her birthday celebration, getting a professional win here in front of her hometown and looking very good while doing so. And like you said, pressing the action. You said that in the past, a few people, you know, have discriminated the fact that she hasn't always been action-packed, pushing the action. Tonight, she stayed very busy, throwing many punches, I think all 6 rounds.
Next up, a middleweight fight between Greg Vendetti of nearby Stoneham, Massachusetts, as he takes on Providence, Rhode Island's Angel Valdez. Vendetti enters this fight with a record of 5 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. Valdez with a record of 0-1. Vendetti, his 2 losses in his draw. 2 losses came against Antonio Chavez Fernandez, a very, very tough, experienced veteran on the New England scene. And he also had a loss that really cut him off guard against Pedro Gonzalez, who we'll see in just a little bit tonight as he takes on Chris Gilbert. His draw was to Antonio Chavez Fernandez. Angel Valdez just 1 fight. He got stopped in that fight against Ray Oliveira Jr. What I'm interested in seeing here is I want to gauge where Greg Vendetti is at compared to Ray Oliveira Jr. with how they both compete against Angel Valdez.
Yeah, that would be an interesting.
Want to make sure we thank the fine folks at Matrix Aerospace for their involvement in tonight's event. Matrix Aerospace, proud supporters of Murphy's Boxing, as Angel Valdez is now inside the ring.
Entering the ring from nearby Stoneham, Massachusetts, please welcome Greg "The Villain" Vendetti.
I'll say this, Greg Vendetti with some theatrics in his ring entrance tonight. Lights are flickering and dramatic music is playing as he'll be entering Melrose Memorial Hall to a raucous ovation courtesy of his many fans from nearby Stoneham, Massachusetts. Like I said, just a stone's throw away. Had to drive there to get here to Melrose tonight.
Yeah, this is what it's all about. You know, a lot of professional fighters, even world champions, you know, they spend their whole career and never get this opportunity to fight in front of their hometown like this. This is something that he should really take it all in and enjoy this, because it's a nice ride. This ring walk with all of your fans and everybody getting loud, music, the lights out. This is a great experience for him.
Well, both fighters now inside the ring. We go to John Vina for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, your fifth bout of the evening is scheduled for 4 rounds. This is the 160-pound middleweight division. This bout is proudly sponsored to by Nantucket Blend and McGreevy's Third Base Saloon. And your referee in charge of the action once the bell rings, Mr. Bob Benoit. And now, introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner to my right. He's wearing black trunks with yellow trim, weighing in a trim and ready 156 pounds. Tonight, entering the ring for the second time, he comes to us from Providence, Rhode Island. Please welcome Angel Valdez. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner to my left. Wearing the solid black trunks, he weighing in a fit and ready 157 pounds. Record, 5 victories, only 2 defeats, with 1 draw, and 3 big wins coming by way of knockout. He comes to us from nearby Stoneham, Massachusetts. He is the villain,
Vendetti wearing the solid black trunks. Valdez wearing the black trunks with the yellow trim. 6 rounds of scheduled middleweight action. Interesting in that Vendetti began his career as a welterweight and has steadily moved up to the middleweight division. Valdez, with 1 pro fight to his credit, was the middleweight division. It was a losing effort to Ray Oliveira Jr. He was TKO'd in that fight.
Fighters come out swinging pretty hard here. A lot of intensity on some of these shots. Fast start for a first round.
And it'll be interesting to see how the weight comes into play for Greg Vendetti. He has fought 1 fight at middleweight thus far, and it was against Jesus Cintron, who, like Vendetti, is not a natural middleweight. So the full impact of fighting a real middleweight didn't really come into play. Valdez is a real middleweight.
That's right. I think that it would definitely make a difference to have a real middleweight in front of you. See Vendetti's body. He's obviously put a lot of work in to get to this weight. He definitely doesn't look like he doesn't belong, but of course it'll be a difference fighting bigger guys. Everything about it is more power and just definitely a nice left hook there.
Yeah, he knocked Valdez backwards with that shot, but Valdez responds back with a nice shot of his own.
A lot of people would look at it as, you know, the transition moving up. Will he be able to, you know, deal with the pressure and power of a bigger man? But one way to look at it, people forget, is, you know, what he has to offer. Will it be effective with a bigger man as well? You know, will his game have to change? Will he have to change the way he fights? He looks like a pressure fighter, probably been able to hurt his previous opponents, but this weight difference, you know, he may have to change some things.
That left hand finding a home here in round 1 for Greg Vendetti.
Vendetti's style reminds me of somebody we're going to see in a little while, Chris Gilbert.
Chris Gilbert's another fighter who has fought between welterweight and middleweight in his career. That would be an interesting collision if it were ever to come to fruition.
I was thinking the same thing. Styles very similar. Both of them come forward, bobbing and weaving. Looks like all the. I don't think they have a punch that isn't a power punch. Looks like a little bit of blood there. Valdez forehead.
And Valdez tried to take a moment to wipe the blood away. Vendetti didn't allow him to. I like that.
That's right. That is obviously showing his fighter instincts and take advantage of any situation possible.
Closing seconds of round one. That blood that we do see in the forehead of Valdez, it's almost in the middle of the forehead, really not in a bad spot where it could adversely affect his vision. If anything, it could just be annoyance to him psychologically. Greg Vendetti puts his hands up in celebration at the conclusion of round one. He feels he's won the opening frame. The crowd seems to agree with him. I happen to agree with him. Good opening frame for Greg Vendetti, but Valdez did have some good moments too.
A very competitive first round, and anxious to see the rest of the fight here. I think you're right about the cut on the forehead. It is more towards the middle. Shouldn't have any issues with blood flowing into the eye. So at this point, it is a mental decision he's going to have to make to ignore it and not let it be a factor in the rounds to come.
Greg Vendetti with Joe Ricciardi in his corner. Greg Vendetti, I believe, is Joe Ricciardi's first pro fighter. In the corner of Angel Valdez, Jose Santos taking the lead. Jose Santos has worked corners for many fighters in New England over the years, including Eddie Soto, Vladini Biasi, and so on and so on. Round two of a scheduled four-rounder on its way right now between Greg Vendetti and Angel Valdez.
We're seeing already a lot of the same. Vendetti coming out strong, firing combinations, moving his opponent backwards. Anxious to see what he do here the rest of the fight. Experienced corner that you were just speaking of, I'm sure made a few adjustments, and let's see what he's got to offer here as the ref warns him for holding his opponent's head down and punching at the same time.
I mentioned Jose Santos in his corner, also Orlando Baez working his corner as well, who currently works with Rich Gingras.
So again, his corner is obviously very strong, which is very important. Very important in a professional career to have a corner that can make adjustments when needed, stay calm, give you the right advice. It's a big puzzle, and that's a huge piece of it.
Orlando also worked significantly with Antonio Chavez Fernandez in his career, as Valdez had a nice right hand that Vendetti responds to with some wild swinging.
Yeah, he did land a nice shot on Vendetti, and then what impressed me even more is it's almost like he could sense that Vendetti was going to try to get that one back, and he held his hands up high while Vendetti was unable to score.
And I mentioned that Orlando worked with Antonio Chavez Fernandez because he represents a loss and a draw on the record of Greg Vendetti.
It's funny somehow how it tide turns and it all comes full circle. Both fighters here looking to start some offense again. Vendetti coming in with a double jab. Valdez is doing a very good job at really keeping his distance just out of harm's way, throwing punches of his own. He's making this fight pretty interesting. And again, this is where we go back to the first round. We're talking about the size. You know, the size is making a difference here, I believe. Nice body shots by Vendetti. Although it didn't look it, I feel like one of those left hooks really affected Valdez. Nice jab, Vendetti. After that left hook to the body, Valdez has really had not much to offer here. It slowed him back quite a bit. Back with the jab. Big right hand, left hook by Vendetti.
Yeah, Valdez has eaten some big shots here in round two. good round for Greg Vendetti. Greg Vendetti's trainer, Joe Ricciardi, was a key player in the short-lived reality series The Fighters, which aired, I believe, on the Discovery Channel. And as I hear him give instructions to Greg Vendetti in the corner, I think to myself, if I was going to typecast a boxing trainer for a TV series or a movie, I think I might just get Joe Ricciardi to play the role.
Yeah, no doubt. I watched that as well, and he did a very good job in that series, and I was actually a little upset that it only lasted such a short time like it did.
I think the entire season did ultimately air in an obscure time slot on the obscure channel.
Yeah, I did. I was unable to watch all that, but I do remember him on there, and I remember the fighter that he was working with at the time actually fought on a Pro-Am card that I fought on in Portland about a year later.
Round 3 underway here between Vendetti and Valdez. It'll be interesting to see if Valdez has any answers to any of the questions in which Greg Vendetti has asked in rounds 1 and 2. Mostly with that left hand that we saw knock some moisture off the head of Valdez moments ago.
Yeah, Vendetti's definitely landing some nice shots, and it seems like just a matter of time these are going to take its toll, especially if he lands any more body shots like the last round.
There's a 4th round TKO for Vendetti in his most recent performance. We're amidst round 3 here, and we're talking about the fact that Valdez might not be able to withstand and absorb the amount of shots he has been for the entire duration of the fight.
No, I don't believe so. You know, he's taking a lot of punishment here, and it's definitely going to add up. You can see he's more on the defensive as the fight goes on, and that's definitely not advantage that he does at all. He's very conditioned. Those balls there. It's dangerous. Nice combination on the road for Vendetti. Although a few of them were blocked, a couple of them landed too clean. Referee's starting to take a closer look at the action here as Vendetti is landing harder and harder shots. Valdez finally goes down.
And they're going to rule it a slip, but I think it's a combination of the amount of punches Greg Vendetti's landing and exhaustion on the part of Angel Valdez, which led him to his knees moments ago.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if Angel makes it out of this round. Yeah.
Referee Bob Benoit issues a stern warning to Vendetti for hitting behind the head, but at the same time, Valdez was leaning over and bending over right in front of him. What's he supposed to do?
That's right. Vendetti's just doing what he's trained to do. It is protect yourself at all times.
Round 3 is coming to a conclusion.
So
and I think the experienced corner of Angel Valdez might want to reconsider sending him out for round 4, considering how this fight is going right now.
I agree. I was surprised that he made it through that round, and I'd be surprised if we see him start the next round, if so, last that long.
And I know he hasn't taken big thudding headshots, but he's taken a lot of headshots. I'd like to see a doctor over in that corner as well. Right now I don't see one. Now I see the doctor stand up as soon as I say that. And he's going to take a look in the corner of Angel Valdez, which I think is the right thing to do.
Looks like they're going to send him out for round number 4 here. So let's see if he can make any type of adjustments, keep Vendetti off him. I really don't see any big changes coming. It looked like he was really starting to tire in that last round, and Result taking more punishment. So I would assume Vendetti's going to come out strong here, try to take care of this fight and end it.
Fourth and final round between Greg Vendetti and Angel Valdez here at Memorial Hall. Nice 1-2 by Greg Vendetti to begin round 4.
That was a solid left hook, right hand. When you're landing lead left hooks, you know, obviously shows how confident you are. He's got full control of this fight. Got to give credit to Angel Valdez for taking some of these shots. Definitely has a lot of heart and a solid chin.
You know, we're at a point in the fight where the outcome is not in question whatsoever. And the unfortunate thing for referee Bob Benoit is there's no obvious point to step in and stop it from what we've seen thus far. But the accumulation of punishment Valdez is taking is to some degree frightening.
Yeah, it really is. And this is when, you know, true fighters aren't going to quit. You know, they would rather go out, you know, getting knocked out or whatever it takes. There you go.
Benoit's got to get in there, and he does.
Great. Very good.
A fourth round TKO for Greg Vendetti. An obvious moment finally arose. Benoit took the opportunity to rightfully stop this fight. A fourth round TKO for Greg the Villain Vendetti. And while the villain may be his nickname, he's certainly the babyface tonight, as the crowd here in Melrose, Massachusetts, with a round of applause for his efforts as he improves to 6 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw with a fourth round TKO over Angel Valdez. Well, you know, in the early portions of the fight when Valdez was fresh, he did do some things
Definitely.
that would not tickle Greg Vendetti.
No, definitely. And, you know, this would be a good tape for Vendetti's next opponent to see what worked in the beginning when Valdez was fresh, and you know, to work on that. I think if Valdez was maybe in a little bit better condition, better shape, things may have been a little different. But Vendetti looked very good out there tonight, very active, and it's quite obvious he spends a lot of time in the gym. He looked like he was in great shape.
Still to come here from Melrose Memorial Hall. Next up, Chris Gilbert takes on Pedro Gonzalez. But right now, we will get the official time of the stoppage as Greg Vendetti TKOs Angel Valdez in round 4. And Butch Stearns will chat with Greg Vendetti after the official announcement from our ring announcer, John Pena.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time. 1 minute and 17 seconds of the fourth and final round. Referee Bob Benoit stops his contest. Here in the fight, KO victory, Greg the Villain Vendetti.
Greg Vendetti victorious over Angel Valdez. And he's going to have a few words with our very own Butch Stearns here on MurphysBoxing.com. Momentarily, a homecoming of sorts for Greg Vendetti in a big fourth round TKO win.
It wasn't on. Now it's on. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Good? Let's try that again with Greg Vendetti. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you.
Made Stoneham proud. Huh?
I did, yeah, it was a good one. It was a good fight.
Felt like you did a lot of your damage in the first couple rounds counter-punching.
Yeah, I mean, the game plan was just say, you know, follow through with the left hook. He drops his right a lot, and just hard work and discipline and stick to the game plan. And I knew I'd wear him down eventually. It's kind of my style, but I kind of wanted to string it out all the way to the fourth, you know, give people their money's worth and shit, so it worked out good. It was a good one.
In that third round, it seemed you did start wearing him down. You had like a flurry of punches several times.
Yeah, I kind of figured, you know, it's a 4-rounder. I got to start picking it up a little bit. You know, I like the longer round fights. You know, I feel more comfortable. But the shorter rounds, you know, first 2, feel them out, move around, counter a little bit, and then the last towards the end, I try to really put it on him to take him the fuck out. You know, but it worked out good. Yeah, it was good.
So, ninth professional fight now. Future's pretty bright for you.
Yeah, it's going good. I had a little mishap there with the weight. I tried to go down to a lower weight, didn't work out. No big deal. But yeah, I mean, I just like training. I like to fight, and I like violence. And I mean, if people are entertained by it, keep coming. Because that's what you.
Middleweight. You think middleweight's perfect?
Yeah, I mean, for the closer rounds, like 4s and 6s, I might do middle. But for the longer rounds, I can make 154, no problem now.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, there you go, my friend. There you go. All right, Peter, back to you. You heard it. 4-letter words and all.
Well, it's the internet, Butch, so we can do that here at MurphysBoxing.com. A 4th-round TKO for Stoughton, Massachusetts, Greg the Villain Vendetti. Still to come here on MurphysBoxing.com tonight, our main event, 10 rounds of welterweight action as 2008 United States Olympic alternate Danny O'Connor takes on former world title challenger Michael Clark in a 10-round contest. Also in our co-feature, Logan McGuinness, the undefeated Canadian prospect, takes on Carlos Vigencio of Miami, Florida. We'll see the red-hot middleweight prospect Mark DeLuca, a new Al Heyman signee, take on Texas native Larry Smith. And up next, following an intermission, we will see Chris Gilbert of Windsor, Vermont, take on Pedro Gonzalez, an upset specialist from Gloucester, Massachusetts. Still plenty of boxing left to come here on MurphysBoxing.com, so make sure you stick with us. And while we've got a moment, we would like to thank the makers of Sailor Jerry's Spiced Rum here, proud supporters of MurphysBoxing.com. After tonight's event, I'm going to take some Coke, I'm going to take some Sailor Jerry's Spiced Rum, mix them together. I'm going to have myself a nice after-broadcast drink. Special thanks to the folks at Sailor Jerry's Spiced Rum. And special thanks to you for joining us here at MurphysBoxing.com.
We spoke with Windsor, Vermont, Chris Gilbert, in Gloucester, Mass, Pedro Gonzalez yesterday, and here is the interview now.
Your one loss was a very controversial loss with an unintentional headbutt that it went to the scorecards early on in the fight. Your other two, you dominated. You had actually an upset win against a fighter that's on this show, Greg Vendetti, in your pro debut last year. You totally dominated him. And this is a bit of a change, another guy that's coming from MMA into boxing. Tell me a little bit about your game plan here tonight.
Game plan for this one is just really just stick and move, really. I know he's under pressure. I know he's a pressure fighter. I'm a pressure fighter. So if it does come to pressuring, up close in the fight, then I'm game for that. I've been working a lot on my stand-up as far as boxing, as far as Muay Thai, as far as just my stand-up game, period. So I feel pretty confident in my stand-up.
Pedro, I understand that you were just recently in New York to try out for the Ultimate Fighter, and then after you finished with the trials, you went over to Gleason's to get a little bit of boxing ambiance as well while you were in New York. Tell me, what'd you think of Gleason's boxing gym?
I had fun out there. New York was a blast. Gleason's was a great place. They took me in with open arms. I was able to get some sparring and some one-on-one training with a guy named Eric Kelly. He's a really good trainer out there in New York. And I was able to go to Church Street Boxing too. And that was pretty fun. I got to do some one-on-one there also. So it was a great time.
Terrific. Thank you, Pedro. Good luck.
Thank you.
Gilbert, welcome to Boston.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's been about 7 months since your last fight. What have you been doing in the meantime?
Training. Never stop.
How do you feel about this fight tomorrow night?
Absolutely prepared, ready to go, 100%. Just excited.
Chris, I've seen you fight most of your fights, and it seems like you have pretty much one style, like a bulldozer, straightforward with bombs. Is that your game plan for tomorrow, or are you going to try and switch things up a little bit with the tall, rangy guy?
I guess we'll have to see how it goes. No, I like to come forward. I like to bang. I like to mix it up, and I like to make it look, not look, but I like to make it exciting. It's my style, and I pretty much fight everyone the same way, and I don't think I'm going to make any changes for this guy.
Terrific. Thank you very much, Chris.
Right, appreciate it.
to Butch Stearns to interview Chris Gilbert Gumby.
All right, so here's what we need to do in this house. This true New Englander, Chris Gilbert, who hails from Windsor, Vermont, hasn't fought since September. And while you may be disappointed in not getting to see him fight, think of how he feels. How about a round of applause for Chris Gilbert, ladies and gentlemen? So let's get to know Chris a little bit better. Chris, what type of fighter are you? What type of fighter would these people have got to see?
Excited. I'm going to come at you every round, all around low. Really looking forward to tonight. Been training hard and very, very disappointed that I can't show tonight. So.
This would have been your 13th fight, right? 12 and 1?
14.
Good math, Butch. And so, your last fight in September, coming into this one, what have you been working on? What have you been looking at doing?
Just stretching out, longer rounds, changing levels up and down, banging, then finishing guys when I got them hurt, which I've been pretty good at.
All right, so like the rest of us, you're going to have to sit around and watch the last 3 fights now.
Absolutely, but just want to say thank you all for the opportunity. I'm sorry I couldn't put it on tonight.
Great to see you, Chris. Thanks for being a part of it. Chris Gilbert, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Gilbert.
Ladies and gentlemen, his opponent now entering the ring, the undefeated Italian Bazooka, Mark DeLuca! Ladies and gentlemen, your 6th bout of the evening is scheduled for 6 rounds. This in the middleweight division. This bout is proudly sponsored to you by New Balance and Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. The referee for this contest, once again, Mr. Bob Benoit. And now introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner to my right. He's wearing green with silver and black and weighing in at trim and ready, 161 pounds. He's a former Texas State welterweight champion, comes to us from Dallas, Texas. Please welcome Larry Slow Motion Smith. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner to my left. Wearing solid black trunks, weighing in at the middleweight limit of 160 pounds. Undefeated in 12 professional bouts with 8 big wins coming by way of knockout. A proud U.S. Army veteran, he comes to us from Whitman, Massachusetts. Please welcome Mark, the Italian Bazooka, DeLuca! Referee Bob and I with final instruction.
Can you hear me? Okay. Listen, when I tell you to stop, let's stop. When I tell you to break,
Let me see your mouth, please. Beautiful. Close to mouth fight.
6 rounds of middleweight action. Mark DeLuca, black trunks. Larry Slow Motion Smith wearing the green trunks with the gray trim. Peter Zimber and Brandon Berry calling the action ringside. The first time we've seen Mark DeLuca in the ring since last October in Plymouth. He's been out with a back injury, and his manager Al Heyman wanted him to get clearance to compete from the most respected doctors in the country, and apparently he's done so as he's back in the ring tonight. Comes out southpaw against Larry Slow Motion Smith, who had quite the ring entrance, singing some soul, Brendan, as he strolled down to the ring.
I'm a fan. It was great to see. I always like seeing somebody have such a good time. So confident coming in the ring and enjoying every moment of this. It's good stuff. And Mark also had a really nice ring entrance as well.
Mark DeLuca, one of the most talked about prospects on the New England scene right now. 12-0, 8 knockouts as a middleweight. Though he's not a kid, he's been around for some time. His boxing career has been here and there due to his involvement in the United States military, but right now really focused on boxing and making a splash in 2015. First fight of the year is against Larry Smith tonight.
Yeah, he's definitely made a mark for himself in New England, and probably going to break out throughout the United States pretty soon, I would assume. And not only is he a good fighter, he is just such a nice guy. If you talk to him, always very respectful, very, very nice guy. I'm a big fan of Mark DeLuca.
And doing some good work thus far against Larry Smith. Mark DeLuca was always a New England product, but since signing with Al Heyman, slowly but surely, the whispers are getting louder across the country that there's this kid from Boston named Mark DeLuca, southpaw, that can fight.
Yeah, you know, he's got a lot going for him. You know, he's a well-spoken, you know, good-looking guy, good fighter, and he's also, you know, it's exciting to watch. He presses the action, he can switch southpaw, orthodox, does a very good job. And I actually have noticed in the past year or so, it looks like he's more and more comfortable every time he enters the ring. And I think it's paying huge dividends in his career where his wins are just coming one after another here. And, definitely in for a good night of boxing here with Mark DeLuca in the ring.
In some respects, he reminds me of a switch-hitting Italian descendant, John Duddy, because he's very popular, sells a lot of tickets, and is exciting every time he fights.
Yeah, and that's a very good combination. You know, has a little bit of showboating here from his opponent, Smith. We'll see how long that can last. If he can continue to take those body shots and make those gestures, I'll be very surprised.
It's been a very good opening round for Mark DeLuca. The Italian bazooka, they call him.
He's got everything going for him. You know, got the good nickname, got a good record, he's got a good following. I think he's a complete package here. I really, really like Mark DeLuca.
You just like him because, like you, he has a name that can rhyme with artillery for nickname.
That's
Brandon
right.
the Cannon Berry, Mark the Italian bazooka DeLuca.
You called me out on it. It's the truth. The minute I heard his nickname, I said, that's it. I like this guy.
Round one comes to a conclusion and a good opening round for Mark DeLuca. His opponent, Larry Smith, comes to us from Dallas, Texas, a Texas State welterweight champion. He also participated in the 2008 States trials. The man tonight, Danny O'Connor, was a States Olympic, and last time I saw Larry Smith, I was commentating with Danny O'Connor, and I said, do you remember him at all? And Danny said, oh yes, I remember Larry Smith at the Olympic trials. Comes from the same cast of amateur characters that I do.
Definitely a strong cast of amateurs that they come from. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Danny O'Connor fought Danny Garcia in the amateurs.
The most impressive thing about Danny O'Connor's amateur career to me is that the eventual gold medal winner in his weight class that year at the Beijing Olympics, Felix Diaz, Danny O'Connor defeated him in international competition prior to the Olympics and did so with a stoppage win.
Wow,
I think that's a fact that is somewhat overlooked about Danny O'Connor sometimes.
It must be, because that's the first I've heard of that, and that's very impressive. See Mark DeLuca coming out here. It looked like a little bit more zap in his punches. Trying to set the tone here. Let's see how comfortable Mark Mark Fields in there with that left hand so low. Switching up to southpaw again.
DeLuca with Smith cornered. Smith did a good job of covering up and firing when Mark DeLuca left himself exposed just for a second.
Yeah, he did. He definitely did. I actually thought for a second maybe those body shots affected him, but he came back with a couple shots of his own. Not where you want to be on the ropes against Bazooka, Mark DeLuca.
Man, is Larry Smith doing you want a good job. What but brutal left hands to the side of Larry Smith.
Yeah, Larry Smith is definitely absorbing them very well, and I'd be very surprised if he can continue to do that. A lot of times with body shots, you get hit with 8 or 9 right in a row, and then all of a sudden that 10th one or 11th one, it's just a different shot. Landed the jab. Duke comes back with a jab of his own. Duke is really, really focusing on trying to land that body shot that's going to make the difference. Still shaking his head no, saying these body shots aren't hurting me, but momentarily Duke got tangled up in the ropes there. Some fighters clinch here at the end of round 2, I believe it is.
I love how Larry Smith eats a left hand to end the round, and in eating that left hand, shimmies and somewhat moonwalks back to his stool.
A lot of showmanship there, and you know, he's just showing that, hey, I'm taking your best shots, and you can't hurt me. And he's trying to play a mental game with Mark DeLuca. I'm assuming that into the head of Mark DeLuca as he's been around. He's probably seen stuff like this before, and he's probably just going to stick to the game plan because it is working.
Mark DeLuca with Hector Bermudez, Nick Sear, and the legendary Jimmy Farrell in his corner.
Round 3 scheduled for 6.
The Quincy Crew, as they call it.
Jimmy Farrell's been around for a long time. His dad as well used to run the gym.
You know, despite the fact that Larry Smith is a game opponent, he's still here playing the role of an opponent, and I think it would be very appropriate of Mark DeLuca to not allow Smith to go the full 6 rounds. I think he needs to get him out of here to make a statement.
Yeah, I agree, and I think he's definitely he's loading up on some of his punches to try to hurt Smith, and it's only a matter of time before one of them connect in the right spot, especially to the body.
And that was a right hand that seemed a little bit low, courtesy of Smith.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Ref had nothing to say. A lot of times when fighters mimic their opponent after they get hit like they didn't get hurt. Sometimes it's a sign of weakness that you did hurt me, but when it comes to the body shots, there's no faking it. If it hurts, everybody in the room will know. It's much different than a headshot.
Larry Smith would appear to be another low shot.
Inside fighting we haven't seen yet. Back on the outside. Luka tries to get his jab going. Nice left hook by Mark Luka, lands flush.
And now we might start to see Larry Smith unraveling as he seems to be more in the defensive shell than he has been this entire fight.
That's a good point, Pete. And it happens a lot with fighters. It's almost like you said, he is playing the opponent, and maybe his whole game plan was here to maybe get inside of Luka's head with taunting, and now he's getting tired, and I think you'll see things going to Luka's way even more so.
Round 3 coming to a conclusion between Mark DeLuca and Larry Slow Motion Smith here at Melrose Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts.
And as he dances back to his stool again, he's just showing everybody he's having fun, he's enjoying being here. But
what's interesting was that was a delayed dance, because Smith walked over to his corner and was walking regularly, and then at some point I think he sensed, I gotta dance, it's kind of my shtick, and he did a little shimmy right as he got to his stool.
And I think he even remembered his nickname at that point, because he did slow down a little bit. It was like a slow motion dance back to his stool.
That is something I've never seen before just now. Round card girl making sure with the judge that it's round 4 coming up. It is. And she looks good.
She's doing a good job.
Ring card girls tonight brought to you by Mark, the ring guy, and Rodrigo Almeida, I believe. Rodrigo Almeida always brings ring card girls. I don't know how he does it, Brandon.
Well, he obviously has some pretty good contacts in the round card girl world.
Round 4 underway between DeLuca and Smith.
What do we expect to see this round out of Smith? We saw him slowing a little bit in the last round. What do you expect now that we're in round 4? Is he going to continue to slow, or is he going to try to get an offense going of his own?
But you know what is interesting about Smith is that there's been times where it's almost as if he's luring DeLuca into a false sense of security. DeLuca lands some shots. Smith stays in a defensive posture, almost like a sparring partner, taking some good shots up against the ropes. DeLuca lets his guard down for a moment, and bang, Smith nails him with something.
Yeah, he's playing possum, and it's funny because he was just on the ropes there, and he got hit with a couple from DeLuca, and he looked at somebody in the crowd and winked and smiled. I'm almost starting to believe this guy that he is having a good time. It might not be just a show. He really might be enjoying this.
He did take the fight on short notice this week. Privately is enjoying what he's being paid as a result of taking the fight on short notice.
Yeah. And he's in this fight. I mean, I believe DeLuca is winning, obviously with no issues, but he's in this fight. He hasn't shown that he's been hurt at all, and he's been taking the best shots that DeLuca has to offer.
He's taking the best shots DeLuca has to offer, and at the same time, DeLuca's going to know at the end of this that he was in a fight, which is something I'm not sure a lot of people expected. Let's be honest here, a lot of people expected DeLuca to end this within 2 rounds.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to see round 4, and before you know it, we might be in the 6th round and going to the scorecards.
A body shot from DeLuca puts Larry Smith to a knee, and that's the first official knockdown of this fight scored by Mark DeLuca.
I did figure it was a matter of time for one of those landed in the right spot, but you can see the experience of Luka's opponent here. He took all the time he needed on his knee there. And I think he's complaining that he thought maybe it was a low blow. Now he's eating shots on the ropes, and I think you might see this fight come to an end.
And even if he didn't really think it was a low blow, he got referee Bob Benoit to kind of stop things for a few seconds, which bought him some extra time. Larry Smith's a veteran; he knows what he's doing.
I was just gonna say the same thing. He knows all the tricks to pull out of the hat. You know, buy some time here, 3 or 4 seconds here, 4 or 5 seconds there. It means a lot when you're in trouble or when you're tired.
Nice right hand by Larry Smith just minutes ago, but that was one shot that he landed amidst absorbing a lot of blows from Mark DeLuca.
Looks like he's going to get out of another round here.
Well, don't speak so soon. A left hand by Mark DeLuca puts Larry Smith on his back, and this is a headshot that puts him down. He seems alert.
Yep, he's beating the count. He's up. He's ready to go. And I did speak too soon, that is for sure.
2 knockdowns scored in round 4 by Mark DeLuca. 1 left hand to the body, 1 left hand upstairs.
The ref just told DeLuca to keep his punches up, I believe.
See, that's the gamesmanship of Larry Smith over there. There really wasn't any low blows that round, but he's got it in his head now.
It's unbelievable. It's, what a veteran. What a veteran Larry Smith is. Although you don't see him dancing back to the corner after the end of that round, he did get into the ref's head where the ref had to give DeLuca a verbal warning, which
Let's be honest
realistically...
here, more low blows in this fight have been landed courtesy of Larry Smith than the other way around.
Yep, that was good. That's something you had to throw in the hat of tricks to pull out later on in my career, possibly. I'm not sure. That was good. I'm learning something.
Brandon Berry's taking notes right now.
I wish I had I knew that when I was fighting Cintron. I'll tell you right now, he's got his game face on. I think Larry Smith is going to come out swinging here.
Nice left hand by DeLuca. Sends Smith to the canvas for the 3rd time in this fight. Yeah, referee Bob Benoit, you might consider stopping this one.
Smith is talking to the crowd. He's smiling. He's back up. He's ready to go for
But he hasn't won a single round in this fight. He's now been down 3 times. I think one more knockdown from DeLuca, referee Bob Benoit's going to stop this one.
He might know something we don't with all the smiles on his face, because I definitely don't feel like I'd be very happy right now.
Almost doing an Emmanuel Augustus routine
I
to some
see
degree
that.
just a moment ago.
Yeah, I see that. He's taking those body shots much better than I would have assumed, especially this late in the fight.
And DeLuca's like, what's it gonna take to stop this? Well, he knocks him down again, and that's it.
Right, has stopped.
4 knockdowns en route to a 5th round TKO. Mark DeLuca back in style, 13-0, and a gutsy performance from Larry Smith, who's very respectful to the victor tonight in Mark DeLuca.
Yeah, very respectful sportsmanship at its highest level right here at the end of the fight. And DeLuca got what we both thought would be appropriate tonight, is stopping Larry Smith here in his home state, in front of his hometown crowd. I will have to say, though, I'm a fan of Larry Smith's entrance and some of his showmanship in the ring. I enjoyed myself watching that fight.
If you're just joining us right now on Murphy'sBoxing.com, an unforeseen series of events took place earlier, which canceled the fight between Chris Gilbert and Pedro Gonzalez, as Pedro Gonzalez, warming up for his fight with Chris Gilbert in the locker room, it appears to have twisted his right ankle. And as a result, unable to compete tonight against Chris Gilbert. But still to come, Danny O'Connor versus Michael Clark, and Logan McGuinness versus Carlos Volchencio. For the official particulars of the TKO, we send it inside the ring to John Vina.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time. 1 minute and 11 seconds of the 5th round. Referee Bob Knight stops this contest. You're winner by TKO victory and still undefeated, the Italian Bazooka, Marky DeLuca.
The Italian Bazooka, Mark DeLuca, still undefeated at 13-0. We send it inside the ring to our very own Butch Stearns, who's going to chat with Mark DeLuca himself.
All right, so here with Mark DeLuca from Whitman. Nice fight, Mark.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So you seem to want to get inside early and do a lot of damage inside.
I did. You know, I know Larry's a tough veteran, and I know he's elusive, and I couldn't really hit him to the head. You know, he's had a lot of fights, so I try to take the wind out of his sails. Good
Excellent,
salesman.
strong fighter. Look for him in up and comings. Pack him up in there with Earl Spence, Jesse Hart, all the major fighters. Y'all look out for Mark. I'm gonna call him Trouble. Mark Trouble DeLuca. I don't know what he's at. Bazooka. I call him Trouble.
Classy move.
Yeah,
Hey,
pleasure, man.
do it, bro.
Thank you, my man.
Do it.
Thank you, pleasure.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thanks, champ.
So classy move by him to come over
he's a
and do
classy
that.
guy.
But a fighter like him with his antics, it's almost like, you know, from a fan's view, he's mocking you. But do you lose your concentration when something like that?
No, I don't. You know, I mean, I try not to, rather, but you know, I've been around a long time, and I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to, you know, get me out of my game plan and try to, get me in there. So, no, I try to stay composed and stick to my game plan. But, you know, he's a veteran. He's been around a long time.
Right.
You know, it's 40-something professional fights, long amateur pedigree. So, you know, he's seen a million of me, you know, so he knows how to fight.
Final question. Proceeds from tonight are going to the Masked Fallen Heroes. Extra sweet to win on a night like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Ken and Murphy's Boxing do an unbelievable job, and I mean the house is packed. It's excellent. He's bringing boxing back. So thanks.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. All right, back to you, Peter.
Thank you very much, Butch. A new nickname for Mark DeLuca, courtesy of Larry Smith, Mark Trouble DeLuca. He certainly gave him a lot of trouble tonight. Folks, a reminder that the proceeds for this internet pay-per-view and tonight's event go to the Masked Fallen Heroes Fund. And for more on that, we send inside the ring to Murphy's Boxing's Ken Casey.
Take an opportunity to do this check presentation now after Marchman. Hey, give it up for our friend Larry Smith up here for the second time from Texas. Man, that guy is a warrior. As is Mark DeLuca, Marine Corps veteran. I know they said Army, and I saw you. Anyway, on behalf of Murphy's Boxing, the Clown Fund, and Mark DeLuca and all the other fighters, we want to present the Masked Fallen Heroes here with a check for $5,000. So thank you guys for all you did tonight for raising money. We're going to let Greg Kelly say a few words here about the Masked Fallen Heroes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If we could have a moment of silence, we can quiet it down a little bit. My name doesn't really matter, but there's 186 Massachusetts residents whose names matter quite a bit. Each one of them lost their lives in service to our country. Of particular note tonight, we want to make mention of United States Army Specialist John Dawson of Northbridge, Massachusetts, killed in action in Afghanistan this week. If we could have a moment of silence, please stand and remove your hats. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank Ken Casey, a great friend of mine, a neighborhood knockaround guy, and you know, he's putting this on for us tonight, and he's doing a great job, and he's been a great friend and a great partner in Masked Fallen Heroes. So I want to thank Ken Boxing. Also of note, I want to mention a great friend and mentor of ours at Mass Fallen Heroes, and that's Tommy Lyons of the Boston Sacrifice Society. He came up here with us to join us tonight. Outstanding leader, Vietnam combat Marine, and a great mentor. I also have some friends here that I'm privileged to have join us tonight from U.S. Navy SEALs. They represent an organization. Their organization actually represents the top 1% of Navy SEALs. And I'm not going to point them out because they wouldn't want that, but they're here tonight, and they have an organization that you can look up on the website as well, and that's onesummit.com. It's another great non-profit organization run by some Navy SEALs right here in Boston. You can get our website. I want you all to go home and check out MassFallenHeroes.com. Okay, and that's the organization that's memorializing the 186 members of our citizens of Massachusetts who gave their lives for our country. Okay, our mission at Mass Fallen Heroes is a three-front war. We're representing veterans, we're representing the fallen, we're also representing Gold Star family members. If you don't know what a Gold Star family member is, that's that person surviving. That's a surviving family member who's lost a loved one in the war. So please check us out at MassFallenHeroes.com. Okay, thanks for supporting Murphy's Boxing, and thanks for supporting Mass Fallen Heroes. God bless.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with Ken Casey from the Dropkick Murphys, a lifelong fight fan, full-time musician, and also a full-time promoter now. He's done a few shows. His very first show was at the TD Garden with a great fight featuring Danny Boy O'Connor. Now he started this Memorial Series, and now May 23rd, you're teaming up with Al Heyman with PCB Boxing. What's it like for you to get PCB Boxing? What's it like to get in with some of the big names featuring this great show May 23rd?
Well, I think that what's been going on here in the Boston area is, with the boxing resurgent, has really caught the attention of the national boxing world, and the big fights are coming here now. And you know, for all you people out there that are coming to this show, we really urge you to come and support May 23rd at the Gaines Arena. Anyone who's my age or older, if you remember Wide World of Sports, you know, big world title fights free on TV in the afternoon, and this is 4 o'clock in the afternoon at the Gaines Arena. You get 2 world title fights, plus Danny, Mark DeLuca, all the best of the area, and it's Boston's chance to be on the big stage, you know, and all these local fighters deserve it, and you know, we're very excited to take part in producing the show.
We'll talk about Logan Cotton McGuinness, an undefeated, rated 130-pounder. We're going to see it in our co-featured attraction. What do you know about Logan? What should the crowd expect?
Well, Logan McGuinness, who's up next, we should all know it's his first time fighting in Boston, so I hope you all show him the love. He's signed to Murphy's Boxing. He's 21-0-1. He's from Canada, and when he fights up there, he fights in arenas. We're excited to be able to bring some of our guys up there and fight in Canada in front of the big crowds in his hometown. But Logan's an all-action kind of guy. Mickey Ward's his idol, and you know, guys like that are crowd favorites. So we're looking forward to seeing Logan come out here soon. So.
Now talk about our main event of the evening, Danny Boy O'Connor, a very good friend of yours you've been taking care of for the last few years now. What is your relationship like with Danny, and how did you get involved with Danny Boy O'Connor?
Well, Danny's like a brother to me, you know. You know, we just have a bond, and you know, I want to help him in his boxing career, and he's just got such a kind heart, a great family, and you know, he's family, and when Danny fights here, you know, I'm proud to be a part of it, and you know, just all that Danny's done in his boxing career, and to see him on the verge of getting a world title shot is exciting stuff.
We've had a great start as a promoter for boxing so far in New England. We thank you very much. How about a nice round of applause for Ken Casey, ladies and gentlemen. One more word.
Don't forget, I know we've probably announced it already, but Ryan over here in the first row, Ryan Kilzeski, who had a knockout here in the first round the last time, and his great-grandfather beside him. He's fighting next Friday night on the 17th down in Mohegan Sun, and it'll be on ESPN. So show Ryan the love and make the trip down to Connecticut too, all right? God bless.
Peter Zimborn, Brandon Berry coming to you from Melrose, Massachusetts, where it's now time for our 6th-round co-feature of the evening in the junior lightweight division as Ontario, Canada native Logan McGuinness makes his debut under the Murphy's Boxing umbrella here in Massachusetts as he takes on Carlos Fulgencio. McGuinness at times has held the NABA title in the featherweight, junior lightweight, and lightweight divisions. You know what that means? That means the guy can fight. His opponent, Carlos Fulgencio, he's a guy that we've seen time and time again, most recently getting stopped inside 1 round by Ryan Kilzeski, a world-rated featherweight and junior lightweight. Can McGuinness do the same to Fulgencio that Kilzeski did to him last time we saw him here in Melrose? We'll find out in the next few moments. Logan McGuinness was Carlos Fulgencio here on MurphysBoxing.com, coming to you from Melrose, Massachusetts. It's always been some very good fighters to come out of Canada. Always a good scene. Now you see guys making their home there like Don Stevenson, Lushan Brute, John Pascal. Traditionally, you've seen some fighters hail from Canada that you don't even really identify with being Canadian. One of your favorites of all time, Arturo Gatti.
That's right, yeah. Montreal, raised in Montreal, moved down Jersey City, was like 19 years old. Figured he'd have more opportunity in the States, and it obviously favored him. But yeah, definitely some tough guys from out of that area.
Both combatants in the ring right now, Logan McGuinness and Carlos Fulgencio. We'll get the official ring introductions courtesy of Kazakhstan's favorite ring announcer, John Vina.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for your special co-featured attraction of the evening. Scheduled for 6 rounds. This at a catch weight of 132 pounds. This bout is proudly sponsored by Sailor Jerry, Spice Navy Rum, and referee in charge of the action, Mr. Paul Doyle. Now introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner to my right. He's wearing white trunks with black trim, weighing in at trim and ready 132 pounds. A veteran of 19 professional victories with 15 defeats with 12 big wins coming by way of knockout. He comes to us from Miami, Florida. Please welcome Carlos Fulgencio. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner to my left. Wearing green, white, and gold, he weighed in at 131.5 pounds. Undefeated as a professional with 21 victories and 8 big wins coming by way of knockout. He comes to us from Ontario, Canada. Please welcome Logan Cotton McGuinness. Referee Paul Doyle, final instructions.
Logan Cotton McGuinness making his debut here in New England. Hails from Ontario, Canada. Brandon, you hail from West Fork, Spain. How far from the Canadian border are you?
Just under 40 miles from the Canadian border, and then the first major city is St. George, and then of course Quebec, which is about 2.5 hours from my house, my doorstep.
This bout brought to you by Sailor Jerry Spiced Rum, proud sponsors of Murphy's Boxing and this broadcast here on MurphysBoxing.com. Carlos Fulgencio wearing the white trunks with the black trim. Logan Cotton McGuinness is wearing the green and white trunks. This one's scheduled for 6 junior lightweights, and right from the get-go, we are seeing Logan McGuinness with a bit of a cheering section behind him go to the body, and then a nice stiff left jab upstairs to Fulgencio moments ago. And another one.
Yeah, you could feel the love in his ring entrance. You know, Logan Cotton, I think he's already formed a fan base here in New England. He came out to that song that's in the movie The Fighter, and I think the crowd and also enjoyed that. And he's coming out strong here with some nice jabs to the body, staying very busy, and definitely a crowd favorite already.
Entrance music performed by the promoter of tonight's event, Ken Casey. That's the Dropkick Murphys, the Warriors Code, a song they wrote about Mickey Ward. You can't go wrong mentioning Mickey Ward in Boston. People love him.
I think it was a matter of time before somebody mentioned his name. I'm surprised he's not here tonight, as he often is in attendance in these local boxing events, supporting his sport that has made him who he is today.
Fulgencio doing a good job fighting out the ropes. But he's been eating a lot of leather, and that left jab has landed hard, at least 3, now 4 times to my count, courtesy of Logan Cotton McGuinness.
Yes, and I think he's in trouble here on the ropes. This isn't where you should be finding him. That body shot right there, that's low.
And they're going to say that is a knockdown. It was a left hand on the belt line, courtesy of Logan McGuinness, and a bit of a delayed reaction by our referee, Paul Doyle, in starting the count, which I think led many to believe that he was going to initially rule it low.
Yeah, from this angle looked a little low, but again, going right back to the body. This one might be ended quickly.
And the right hand to the head this time sends Fulgencio to the canvas in the very same corner. He does not look like he has any interest in getting up initially, however, he does ultimately. We'll see if McGuinness can finish him here in round 1. He was trying to get to the side of the ring before the referee signaled him to. McGuinness wants to finish this one and finish it in style.
Yeah, he's definitely got that killer instinct, which I think all fighters need to have, and he's looking at this night, but although his opponent is coming back with some shots of his own off the ropes. Body shot hurt there.
And a right hand to the body this time sends down Fulgencio for the 3rd time in the fight. And he's going to take the full count, it appears. Paul Doyle calls a halt to this one. Multiple knockdowns, and Logan McGuinness wins via first round TKO over Carlos Fulgencio here in Melrose, Massachusetts.
Put his punches together very impressively. Those body shots definitely were the deciding factor, I believe. But he went upstairs, downstairs, upstairs, downstairs. You can tell that he definitely has some experience, and he puts his punch together very well.
Carlos Fulgencio is signaling to his corner that he was slipping due to poor traction on his boxing shoes, but that does not seem to fit in with the narrative which I saw. Now he's arguing with a guy in the front row. That's probably not good. So Logan McGuinness will improve to 22-0. 9 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Essentially grabs a win against Fulgencio here tonight. Be nice to see how he fits in the mix with other guys in the junior lightweight and featherweight weight divisions out there. There's Ryan Kozeski from the area, Luis Rosa from Connecticut, keeping it within New England. On the world stage,
Yeah, I
you've
think
got some very interesting fights at that weight class.
I think him and Ryan would be a really good matchup.
We'll get the official time of the stoppage inside 1 round right now from John Vina.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time. 2 minutes and 55 seconds of the first round. Referee Paul Doyle stops this contest. Be winner by TKO victory and still undefeated, Logan Cotton McGuinness.
2 minutes and 55 seconds of round one. Logan McGinnis with a first-round TKO over Carlos Fulgencio after multiple knockdowns. And now for a post-fight interview, we go to Butch Stearns.
Peter here with Logan McGinnis. Logan, I mean, quite honestly, not really much of a fight. You had control right from the beginning.
Yeah, I'm coming off an 18 months layoff, right? So, I mean, we need this kind of fight to get back in there and get fighting again, right? But, I mean, I need a couple of rounds to get my feeling back, but hopefully we're going to get back in there in May, right? I mean, I'm signed with Ken Case now in the Murphy's Boxing, so big things are going to happen. I'm going to be here a lot often, so I'm going to make a big fan base here, and, I mean, I got an exciting style. Unfortunately, you didn't get to see too much of it tonight. But I got around in there, hurt a guy a bit, but I'm going to be back and fighting a lot more here.
Sometimes you get in the ring and it takes a while to feel a guy out and to learn things. Yeah. So are you disappointed it didn't go a little longer tonight?
Yeah, I definitely, like right now, like I said, coming off 18 months, I need rounds, right? I need rounds to get back to where I was. Shake off the little bit of rust I did have. Unfortunately, I couldn't get more rounds, but a knockout's always nice too, right? Get back in there and get a guy out of there. But I mean, if I could have dragged it out a couple more rounds and then got him out there to get a little more rust off, right? But that's all right. We'll be back here soon, so no worries, you know.
So for the people that haven't seen you fight, or maybe the people that came here tonight and didn't get to see a lot of you, and we're streaming this out tonight and saw you, what type of fighter are you? What are they going to see if they start?
I'm a pressure fighter. I like to come forward, pressure. I like to hit the body, dig the body. As you've seen tonight, that's what was hurting the guy with body shots. But I'm going to come forward. I'm an exciting style, right? I like to mix it up with guys. I can also box too, but I like to do it both, right? I'm a pressure fighter. I like to come forward and fight.
All right, congratulations.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, Logan McGinnis, winner of the fight. Now we got one more big fight, the main event. Danny Boy O'Connor against Michael Clark. Back to you, Peter.
Logan McGinnis making as many fans in Canada proud as he improves to 22-0 tonight. Hey, you're coming from Canada, you come to Boston, you're on Boylston Street, you want to stop off at McGreevy's Third Base Saloon, a fine place to have a drink and get some food. McGreevy's Saloon on Boylston Street in Boston. Still to come tonight, our main event, Danny O'Connor taking on Michael Clark, 10 rounds of welterweight action. In our main event of the evening, Danny O'Connor, as I've mentioned, a 2008 United States Olympic alternate. Michael Clark, a former world title challenger, also an alum of the Contender TV show. He was on season 2 of that show, which was ultimately won by great.
Next up is our 2 Red Sox tickets, ladies and gentlemen. The winner of 2 Red Sox tickets must have number 760-0541.
We're coming to you from Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts. Coming up, our main event between Danny O'Connor and Michael Clark. 10 rounds of welterweight action. We caught up with both Danny O'Connor and Michael Clark yesterday at the pre-fight weigh-ins. Mark Vaz spoke with both of them, and here's how that went.
You know, it's something I've been doing, like you said, for a long time. Fighting guys in their backyards, coming in as the underdog, but something I'm used to. I adapt to it. I'm a veteran at 41 years old, and, you know, I love what I do. You know, I fought a lot of southpaws in the past. Sparred with a lot of guys like Manny Galloway in Columbus, Ohio, real slickster. And, you know, it's boxing. You know, I mean, you have that in boxing. So I'm used to it, the southpaw styles, and I'm pretty slick myself for an old guy, and I think we'll have a good chess match out there. You know what, going to a fight with somebody who has that much power, I'm really not a strong fighter myself. And I always say the shots you don't see are the shots that hurt you. So, you know, kudos for him for not having that much power, because I don't have that much power myself. So like I said, it's going to be a chess match.
Okay. Danny O'Connor, welcome to Melrose.
I'm happy to be here.
Danny, you were actually just here about a month ago. Tell us what you did last time you were here.
Last time I was the commentary for the fights. It was a good night. It got me really excited to come for this time. The crowd was lively, and it's a great venue. It's a nice atmosphere, so I'm pretty excited to fight here tomorrow.
I listened to your commentary. Actually, I watched the fights later on, and Teddy Atlas better be careful. You could be gunning for his job.
I am gunning for his job. That's why I'm practicing now.
Danny, you had a little bit of a time off after the fight with Vivian Harris. You took a little bit of time to regroup, and you've been back with a couple of really nice wins. Tell me what you look for tomorrow night.
Just get back in the ring. I mean, I'm excited to do this. I box because I love it. I love the way it makes me feel, and I'm excited to be able to get in there and think and figure them out and use my game plan and just get back in the ring and fight.
He's a slick, experienced guy, and when we interviewed him earlier, one of the things that he said is that he has a great deal of respect for your boxing ability, that he sees you as a very similar style to his own, that it'll be more of a chess match. Is that how you see the fight?
Yeah, that's exactly how I would say it. It's like a chess match, and something like that is what I get up for. That's what I like, someone that's going to make me think and, you know, have the chance to figure them out and to outthink him, and that's what I strive on. That's what I really like.
Obviously, we never want to look past an opponent in any case, but what is your ideal fight looking at the immediate future of Danny O'Connor?
Well, I'd like to hop right on the May 23rd card that's coming here to Boston. You know, as the boss of me and running my team, I kind of have to keep an ear to the ground of what's going on, but I don't look past any fight, so I'll be worrying about today and tomorrow, and you know, anything could happen. Anything could happen. So once tomorrow's done, then I'll game plan for number 2.
Terrific. Easy time making weight this time. You were right, actually 1.5 pounds under what the contracted weight is. How are you feeling in training and in the gym?
I feel great. I feel great. I think the training camp of being home in Boston around my family has made everything, you know, improve that much better. The change to being with Hector as the coach now, bringing the technique back and the foundation of my boxing. I feel really confident. I feel really great. I'm in a good space right now.
Terrific. Congratulations, Danny. Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks a lot.
And we're back here at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts, where it is time for our main event of the evening. This fight brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, official sponsor of our main event, Danny O'Connor and Michael Clark. This one is scheduled for 10 rounds in the welterweight division. Michael Clark in the ring right now. Danny O'Connor about to make his entrance. Danny O'Connor, a 2008 United States Olympic athlete who is an undefeated prospect coming up the ranks, had his very first fight on ShoBox on the Showtime network and unexpectedly lost that fight. Made some change in his career, regrouped, got with Murphy's Boxing, suffered his second loss of his career against former world champion Vivian Harris in a fight that many, including myself who called the fight, felt that he won. Since then, he's regrouped with some good performances, most recently against Andrew Farmer here, in Plymouth, Massachusetts, on a Murphy's Boxing show last October. And Michael Clark tonight, he's got a wily veteran. Michael Clark enters this fight with a record of 44 wins, 12 losses, and 1 draw. Clark has fought plenty of solid opposition. A former world title challenger, also was featured on season 2 of the Contender television series. His most recent appearance in Massachusetts, he fought the top Irish amateur standout, Jamie Kavanaugh, and was TKO'd in a losing effort. We'll see how he fares against Danny O'Connor tonight. One criticism of Danny O'Connor's career that's always been there, Bren, is his lack of power. 24 wins, 8 of them coming by way of knockout, 33%. However, in his most recent fight against Farmer in Plymouth, in a fight that was broadcast on Fox Sports 1, he really put his shots together very well and seemed to be a lot more aggressive than a lot of folks remember him being, and was able to get him out of there. Do you think he'll be able to get someone the caliber of Michael Clark out of there tonight, given his experience?
Yeah, I think so. I think we saw some changes in Danny O'Connor's game. I think that the brief retirement, maybe he made some changes mentally, physically, but when we saw him fight in Plymouth, I believe that was a little bit different Danny O'Connor. He's putting his punches together very well, showed some power that we hadn't seen before, and I think we're going to see a lot of the same tonight.
And you mentioned the retirement. Danny O'Connor at one point did say he was done with boxing. It didn't last particularly long. He's back in the ring again tonight, as he'll be taking on Michael Clark in Melrose, Massachusetts. A raucous Danny Boy O'Connor crowd in attendance. For the official ring introductions, we'll go inside the ropes to John Beal.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we get to our main event of the evening, we'd all like you to please rise and move your hats with the singing of our Star Spangled Banner and hit to sing our national anthem, a talent from Bridgewater State University. Please welcome the talented Michael Patrick Bradley.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Michael Patrick Bradley, ladies and gentlemen. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the thousands in attendance and the thousands watching on live stream from MurphysBoxing.com, Murphy's Boxing proudly presents your main event of the evening. 10 rounds of boxing at a catch weight of 149 pounds. Your referee in charge of the action once again, Mr. Bob Benoit. Introducing first, fighting out of the corner to my right. He's wearing black, trimmed with red, with white lettering, and weighed in at 147.5 pounds. His impressive record reads 44 victories, 12 defeats, 1 draw, and 18 big wins coming by way of knockout. A former title challenger, he comes to us from Columbus, Ohio. Please welcome Michael Cold Blood Clark. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner to my left. One of the black trunks with white lettering. He also weighed in at 147.5 pounds. His excellent record reads 24 victories with only 2 defeats and 8 big wins coming by way of knockout. He comes to us from Framingham, Massachusetts. Please welcome Danny Boy O'Connor. Everybody on the final instructions.
Listen up. I'll tell you to stop, you stop. I'll tell you to break, once you break, you break the knee. I'll tell you to punch, once you resume the fight. Listen, don't let them go there. Touch you up, stop fighting at the door.
10 rounds of welterweight action between Danny O'Connor and Michael Clark. O'Connor wearing the black trunks with the white trim, Clark with the black trunks and the red trim. This fight brought to you in part by the Claddagh Fund. Danny O'Connor, a big part of the Claddagh Fund, a charity started by Ken Casey of the Dropkick Murphys. Round 1 underway between Michael Clark and Danny O'Connor. O'Connor, the southpaw. From the get-go, it looks like Danny both tries to jab and throw a left hook to the body downstairs at Michael Clark.
His jab seems to be pretty effective already. Clark comes out swinging a few punches. Owen just got caught O'Connor with a nice left hook. Getting a sense that Danny's punches, he's got a little bit more zing on him, like we were talking about his last fight. It looks like he's really committing to his punches, more so now than he has early in his career.
Denny really opening up against Michael Clark here in round one. One thing that says about Michael Clark is a right hand from Danny O'Connor lands flush on Michael Clark.
Clark is hurt.
Clark is down, and he does not appear to want to get up.
That is it. Fight's over.
That is it. Danny O'Connor with a right hand first round knockout of former world title challenger Michael Clark.
That's a statement. I think it is very obvious that Danny has done something different in the past year or so, where either he found some power that he didn't know he had, or he created some, and he's definitely punching much more effectively than before.
Of all the possible endings to this fight tonight, I think a first round KO for Danny O'Connor was probably the least likely. He's a guy that time and time again has won decision, and when he has gotten guys out of there, it's been accumulation of punishment, which eventually has done the damage. That was one perfectly placed right hand to the side of Michael Clark's head by Danny O'Connor.
If this was your first night watching Danny O'Connor, you would not believe that his record shows only single-digit knockouts. You would think that he was a power puncher. You know, that was his 9th KO in 27 fights now, and it looks like he is a power puncher.
Well, we'll get the official time of the stoppage courtesy of John Vina, and then Butch Stearns will chat with Danny O'Connor afterwards. Let's send it inside the ropes.
Attention, please. We have the time, 1 minute, 10 seconds of the first round. Referee Bob Bright stops this contest. Your winner by a knockout victory, Danny Boy.
Didn't take long for Danny O'Connor to find the home for that right hand, which ultimately put Michael Clark away.
Didn't even break a sweat, Pete.
Didn't even break a sweat. He might have a tougher time with this interview. To find out, we'll send it to Butch Stearns.
Wants to talk to you guys.
I just want to thank everyone for coming. Hey, a lot of hard work goes into this. I'm just happy to have all the support. I love you guys. To the next one. Thank you.
So, great night. We're streaming this back to Ireland. Let's start there. What do you have to say to your fans back in Ireland?
Oh man, all my support across the pond has been huge. I talk to them every day over social media, and they always have great things to say. So it means a real lot to me that I can do something that I love and have people appreciate it. So to everyone across the pond, Ireland, England, everything, thank you for all the support. Scotland, I love you guys.
You always love to win, and you love to win easy, but boxers like to box. You didn't get much of a workout tonight.
Yeah, you know, it was what it was. I worked really hard outside the gym, and I come here with all the hard work and the preparation done, and you know, everything is done on the outside of this ring. So I couldn't ask for a better night. I'm happy with the outcome. Most of all, I'm healthy, and I can come right back May 23rd in Boston. Right back on the train.
May 23rd, it's going to be on NBC. It's going to be at Agganis Arena in Boston. You're building up to something special, aren't you?
I'm just taking it one day at a time. I'm having fun right now. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy doing it for a living. And if a big opportunity comes, I'll be more than happy to jump on it. And I just want to say hi to my wife, Diane. I love you. Expecting our next child in September.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
One right hand, and Michael Clark could not beat the count. And with that, O'Connor improves to 25 wins against just 2 losses, 9 wins now, coming by way of knockout with a big first-round KO of a former world title challenger tonight in Michael Clark. Well, it's been an excellent night of boxing here at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts. We saw Marcos Forestell improve to 2-0 with the first-round TKO of Philadelphia's Brandon Ali Garvin. We saw Matt Doherty of Salem, Mass. make his pro debut with a second-round TKO over Moses Rivera. Timmy Ramos memorable pro debut with a second-round stoppage of Gilvan Santos. Alexander Magziak Lopes recovered from a first down to sweep rounds 2 through 6 to win a unanimous decision over Lucretia Meacham. Greg Vendetti found himself in a dogfight with Angel Valdez early on, but regrouped and beat his opponent into near submission with a 4th-round TKO. We also saw Mark DeLuca face a tougher than expected challenge in the very durable and serviceable Larry Smith. Logan McGuinness made a nice New England debut with a first-round TKO over Carlos Fulgencio after a few knockdowns. And then in the shocker of the night, a first-round KO courtesy of Danny O'Connor over Michael Clark. Well, it's been an interesting night of boxing here in Melrose. Thanks so much for being here with us, Brandon.
Thank you so much for having me, Pete. This was an honor. This was literally just another dream come true in the boxing world. Thank you so much to Murphy's Boxing and Ken Casey. I appreciate this opportunity, and I would love nothing more than to get an opportunity like this again in the future. I love the sport. Congratulations to all the fighters tonight, and I hope everybody enjoyed the good night of boxing here in Melrose.
We want to thank the sponsors tonight, Murphy's Boxing, also the Clatta Fund, doing a very good job of bringing you the action you saw on your screen tonight, courtesy of murphysboxing.com. Well, for everyone here at murphysboxing.com, Butch Stearns, my broadcast partner Brandon Barry, I am Peter Zimbor. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time at the fights. Have a great night, everyone.